Hi and welcome to another update. Happy New Year's. It is 2024 and this year we are going to smash it. Today I want to take you through what am I seeing on Bitcoin, and yes, as per my thumbnail, we are not out of the danger zone just yet, and I'll explain to you why. Also, I want to look at the strength of ETH to BTC. Quite an interesting chart which measures the strength to Bitcoin, and can we perhaps get that potential breakout to the upside. Also going through ETH, what am I seeing there? And then lastly, there's a very interesting thing that I've picked up on Tezos that I want to share with you, what I've picked up in another altcoin that did something phenomenal. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. And before I start, please like and subscribe this content. It's your way to show love towards the channel. Please use my affiliate links if you'd like to trade with me, and it costs you nothing and it's your way to show support. Okay, let's dive in and share with you what am I seeing over here. So first, just briefly from an Elliott wave perspective, if this was the end of a third wave and we are now going to make a fifth wave, the final fifth wave to the upside, and this was potentially the completion of a WXY corrective structure, and now we are making the first couple of waves to the upside to complete that ultimate fifth wave. What can we perhaps look at here is to say that, well, if this is a WXY and we are now making a fifth wave to the upside, the one thing that I am then looking at is to say, okay, well, this then needs to be a wave 1, 2, and we are now busy with the third wave to the upside. And how high it will go, we will work out now, for a potential 4 and a final completion of the fifth wave for a deeper correction to the downside. Okay, the one thing I want to take into consideration is to say, one of the ways to measure the target for fifth wave is you take your FIB, trend-based FIB, okay, from the top to, did I cancel it now? Okay, you take your trend-based FIB from the top to where we've completed this corrective structure to the bottom. We drag it across. Okay, the 1.236 is a common fifth wave target, but it can extend all the way up to the 1.618, and then if you start getting complicated and you measure how long the wave 1 of this complete impulsive wave to the upside was, the fifth wave can generally extend up until here the $53,000 level. Okay, $51,000 level. But for now, to keep it simple, let's just look at some of the simple targets, is to say that why are we not out of the danger zone yet? Is to say that, well, if this is a small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we could have a deeper correction to the downside. And will that happen? We don't know. We do have big ETF news coming out this year, I think on the 8th to the 10th of January. So perhaps momentum is building up for anticipation of that news. And we'll just have to see what happens next week. Holding thumbs that it will be good news to see nice bullish momentum to the upside. But I think if there's going to be any bad news coming out, this could be the signal for a nice little deeper correction and perhaps more bullish momentum to follow once the good news finally comes out, if the ETFs are delayed. Okay, but nevertheless, let's not focus on the fundamentals for now. Let's look at what the technical analysis is telling us, is to say that if this is the completion of a WXY corrective structure, and we now go and measure where can the fifth wave targets be from this high to the low of the structure, 1.236, 1.618 common targets for fifth wave, okay, which is also in confluence with here with a yearly level. And I think if I go switch on my daily levels over here, I also have a daily level with a point of control over here as well. Okay, so definitely targets that I am watching for, to say, well, are we going to find weakness, struggling to break through, even perhaps creating a Bart Simpson for a nice little move down. Okay, definitely an interesting scenario. The other thing that I'm then watching is to say that when I take this out the way, and this is a wave 1, 2, and now we're busy with the third wave. You take your FIB from the bottom of 1 to the top, to the bottom, and drag it across, you reverse it. Okay. As I always say, minimum target for third wave is the 1.618, which we've already smashed through. And we actually, if you zoom in here, you'll see that we did find support at this level. We smashed through, we retested it, and now we're continuing to the upside. Currently finding a little bit of resistance at this monthly level. Also, statistically speaking, it hasn't been a lot of years, but generally when we tap the yearly level, there's quite a decent correction or a reaction at that level. So, you know, we'll have to see what happens when we do get to this yearly level. Please make sure that you mark it out on your chart. Are we going to smash through here with high volume, perhaps consolidate above for continuation, or will this be the ultimate rejection that no one is expecting and the news not even moving the price to go higher? Definitely an area. It's also in alignment here with the 2.618. So if this is indeed a 1, 2, 3 to the upside, the 618 areas are very common third wave targets. So now that we're busy with the potential third wave to the upside and we smash through the 618, I'm looking at the 2.618 as a possible rejection area. If we smash through that, then the 3.618, which is also in confluence with the value area high of the bull run during 2020. Okay, we'll just have to see how price reacts. We also have massive resistance here, which is a macro 0.618 from the top of the bull market to the bottom that we formed in 2022 or beginning 23, can't remember exactly. But then you get a 0.618 FIP, macro FIP here, also in alignment with a monthly level. And I think I did actually had that mark out. Let me show you. It's a monthly level point of control, a point of control for monthly, and the 0.618. So big resistance in this area over here. If we do find continuation to the upside, we have to also keep in mind that we are potentially now busy with the fifth wave, which is the last wave of this impulsive wave to the upside. So any correction that follows this last impulsive move to the upside could be very deep and long. Okay, so just keeping that in the back of our minds. And what else? Okay, let's take some of this out the way. And what I then want to show you is, well, what if this is not the end of the corrective structure, which is quite interesting, where we're now saying, okay, well, what if this was an A, we're now busy with an expanded B, and we're still going to make a deeper C correction to the downside, then only start the fifth wave to the upside. Okay, and it's almost the same way that I've just measured the fifth wave target. You take your FIP from the top to the bottom of A, you drag it across, you reverse it. Okay, and then you will see the 1.236 is a common B expansive flat target and where we are currently at. So yes, we can go to the 1.382, 1.618, generally a rare target for a B expansive, but it has been hit and proved valid in the past, but more of a rare target, the common targets being these two. So it is very important to observe what is going to happen to price at the yearly level, between the monthly, the yearly level, and this point of control and daily level that I have on top here. So very important resistance to say that, well, if we do reject over here, we could go and make a much deeper C wave correction to the downside before the fifth wave kicks in. Okay, hope that makes sense. And that is why we're not out of the woods yet. So I would like to see continuation going up, small ABC corrections, and continue more impulses to the upside, high volume starting to kick in. And that's the other thing that's concerning me at the moment, is that I don't see high volume kicking in. It feels like volume is on the downtrend. So let's just zoom in here, clean up the chart a little bit, take the daily levels out the way. Okay, as you can see, volume is sloping down. We had high nice volume with this spike up here. Okay, and now volume is tapering down. Ideally you want to see volume starting to kick in for impulsiveness to the upside. So it kind of feels like we are close to the turning point for a deeper correction. Okay, we now just have to say, well, you know, we don't catch rockets, or we don't catch falling knives. You want to see proof of support or proof of resistance. Practice good risk management before you enter your trades. But from what I'm seeing over here, it kind of feels like we are nearing the top. Okay, Cool. The other thing that I'm watching is to say, okay, well, take all the scribble out the way. Let's go back onto the 1 hour. Okay. The one bit we've discussed is to say that, well, this could be still an A-B, expanded target, and then a deeper correction to the downside, where the other one was the WXY, which is a finished structure, and we're now looking for impulses to the upside. The other scenario I'm also watching is to say that, well, this could also be an ending diagonal, which is an expanding diagonal. It's very rare in Elliott wave theory, but still it can play out where you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll just have to see how this plays out, because what could also happen, and I'm not happy with most of the levels over here, but nevertheless we have to keep the scenario in mind, is that 3 moves over here, 4 moves over here, where we could still come down, retest this trend line for then a 5th wave to the upside, which ends the structure in an ending diagonal, which they refer to in Elliott wave theory. Okay, which is also in confluence with this value area high of the bull run during 2020. Okay, so those are basically the levels that I'm currently watching on Bitcoin. Another thing I wanted to point out is, let's take all the scribble out the way, just clean it up, is to say, when I zoom in here into the 1 hour and we just expand things a little bit over here. Okay, I do have this range low area here, and it's quite a popular trading strategy. Well, I'm not sure if many people know about it, but it's popular for me because I've used it so many times. Is that when you have high volume with a move up, the first rejection that you get creates your range low. And what you would like to see when this happens is you have now momentum to the upside. If you had to come down, you don't want to lose this level and close candles below it, like 15-minute, 1 hour candles below it. Ideally, what you would like to see happen is either the continuation to the upside, and if we do start correcting back below this monthly level, you want to see us touch this level once and move away. Okay. If we come back, probability state that you want to move away immediately. So a nice little, you wick down below, you get acceptance back above the level, you enter with your stop loss. As soon as you are in the green, you move your stop loss to entry. Just a little bit of trading education over there. If probability state that if you come back and you test it for a second time, probabilities increase that you are going to fill this gap. Okay, before you will potentially see momentum to the upside again. So you touch it again, perhaps retest the scene of the crime, and you come back down. And this could also spell a deeper correction for momentum to the downside. Okay, so definitely an area that I'm also watching, which is also in alignment with that 1.618 when you take a fib pull from that small little wave 1 to the upside. Okay, cool. Let's take the scribble out the way and discuss what am I seeing on BTC ETH. Well, so ETH versus Bitcoin, and this shows the strength that ETH has against Bitcoin. And at the moment, Bitcoin is a lot stronger than ETH. ETH is one of those altcoins that's been lagging behind. What is going on here? I'm here on the daily, and as you can see, we've been losing steam against Bitcoin. We found support in this area, which is quite critical support, because it kind of feels like if we had to lose the support, it's going to go down a lot further, perhaps finding support above these highs over here. Okay, but yeah, here at the 0.031 area looks like it's the main level of support if we do lose this momentum to the downside. Okay, but also I have to highlight and acknowledge, zooming in here, you can see that we've broken this downsloping trend. Currently retesting it. Could this be the moment that ETH is going to skyrocket and finally show that strength against BTC that everyone has been waiting for? ETH has been lagging behind. ETH is dead. Solana is now the ETH killer. It's taken over. So definitely an important area that I'm watching here is to say that obviously dependent on the price of Bitcoin, but if we can find support in this area, even breaking this trend, that would be a ticket where ETH is going to skyrocket against Bitcoin. Okay, taking that into consideration and then looking at the price of ETH against the US dollar, you can see that we have broken this trend line that I've been tracking. I'm here on the 15-minute, and I'm now also tracking this momentum to the upside. We pulled a nice little bull flag, broke out, came back to retest it. Are we going to go higher or start losing steam, leaving this momentum line that I have here coming back to the home line? And then ultimately, if I go into larger time frames, you really want to make sure my Coke is, you really want to hold this support and this home line. Okay, drag this across. This is what I call my home line. Any test back into this home line is potentially a great buying opportunity. As you can see, every time we came to this trend line, we had a nice bounce, again a nice bounce, and again a nice bounce to the upside. So we want to see this trend hold. We are currently above this major trend from a daily perspective that I have been taking everyone through in a couple of my videos. So we want to see strength above for continuation to the upside. Potentially even, you know, the next resistance level here at the $3,500 level. Okay, so could this be the rocket that everyone is waiting for? Only time will tell. Bitcoin just needs to play ball. Okay. Also looking at Doge, I'm here on the 1 hour. Beautiful coin that I've been tracking. As per my previous updates as well, I'm still tracking this momentum to the upside. Bounce, 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 and finally now we've broken. My alarms went off yesterday. We broke this downsloping trend line. My entry on Doge was over here somewhere, the 0.907. I think that was my entry, 907, right there. When we flipped this resistance into support, that's my ticket to buy, because I like to buy the breakouts before the breakout happen, and it's just a better way of managing your risk. Okay, so broke through currently. Are we retesting for continuation to the upside? Definitely something that I'm keeping in mind. Also looking at Bonk, same thing, broke a beautiful downsloping trend. Currently consolidating outside of this trend, and I've now just included another momentum line. So when I go into the 15-minute, I'm just connecting these highs to say that, well, if we do break out here, that could be a ticket for that ultimate continuation to the upside, or potentially this is now creating a nice little accumulation zone to load up your spot bags. Okay, Bitcoin just needs to behave. Then lastly, just take a sip of water over here. Tezos, XTZ. What I want to show you guys is, first I want to show you render, okay? And I'm back here at the price action of September 2022. And the reason I went back to this price action, because I clearly remember trading render during this phase. And what was striking for me during this phase, and this is the interesting part, so please stay tuned, and if you do see this in future, it could be a potential great ticket to load up your spot bags, is you will see these high green spikes with decent green volume kicking in. The volume is pretty average, and then you have these little spikes leaving these long wicks to the upside. Okay, and for me, I don't know if there's a technical term for it, but for me it looked like big players are loading up their spot bags, which are creating these little big pumps and a back to the current price action, you know, big pump back to the current price action. And when I saw these weeks, I was like, I think, hang on, big players are loading up in the zone. This is a accumulation zone where smart money is loading up their bags for a bigger move to come. And then what happened? True as Bob. Still nice little wicks to the upside, green wicks to the upside, and then this happened. I mean, look at this. This happened, and it just never came back to that price action, to where we are right now. Could this be happening on Tezos as well, where I'm seeing these long little wicks? So we had one just recently, a long little wick, green volume kicking in back to the current price action. Also, I saw it, yeah, long wick, long wick, long wick. So you have these green little bars of volume, kicking in. Could this be spot bags buying, smart money buying for anticipation of a bigger move to come? Okay, zooming in onto the daily, Also, like I've highlighted before, Tezos is still in a beautiful load up zone from a spot bag perspective, and I do see TP1 still very far away from where we are right now. 100, 116, 120%. It could go much higher than that. We don't know if Bitcoin will have the momentum, and we have to track Bitcoin dominance. And there's a lot of things to keep in mind, and we have to practice good risk management. But I'm just seeing the signs. And as always, you know, as traders, we can be wrong. And what keeps us in the game is good risk management. But the patterns look the same to me. So back onto the 4-hour here. Long wick, green volume. Long wicks here, green volume kicking in, as I've seen here on render, like I've just explained to you guys. So definitely something to keep in mind. Tezos has me very interested. I have loaded my spot bags during this accumulation zone over here. Also, when we broke through here, I added to my spot bags. Let's see what's going to happen. Holding thumbs for a nice little move to the upside of at least 100%. And until the next update, that's all from my side. Cheers for now.